Elimination Chamber 2019, Houston, Texas. Kofi Kingston stands at the highest point of the Elimination Chamber, 12 feet above the ring. Daniel Bryan is down below. The WWE Championship is within reach. 11 years. Never a world champion. Never even close. This might be his only shot. Actually, no. This is his only shot. The crowd is chanting his name. 16,000 people believe in something that wasn't supposed to happen. Kofi jumps. And what happens next, win or lose, changes everything.
Kofi Kingston!
The Elimination Chamber doesn't ask if you're ready. No. It asks what you're willing to risk when the moment arrives. And sometimes, the answer isn't what anyone expects. This is the story of 6 wrestlers who learned that lesson the hard way. Picture a structure 26 feet tall, 16 tons of steel. If you believe the old measurements, actually lighter now with the redesign, but still massive enough that only certain arenas can support it. Chain link walls that rattle when bodies hit them. 4 plexiglass pods positioned at each corner, each one designed to hold a human being like an exhibit in a museum. A floor that used to be steel grating, the kind that leaves waffle patterns on your back when you get slammed into it. Now it's padded, safer. Though safe is a relative term when you're trapped inside 2 tons of steel with 5 other people who want what you have. The Elimination Chamber is a promise written in steel and plexiglass. Win here and your life changes forever. Lose here and the story follows you anyway. Get injured here and the scar becomes part of your legend. This structure doesn't care about your dreams or your health insurance. It just asks one question: how much are you willing to sacrifice? For 22 years, the Chamber has created legends and destroyed bodies in equal measure. Tonight, we're looking at 6 moments when this structure didn't just crown champions, it revealed who wrestlers really were when everything was on the line. November 17th, 2002, Madison Square Garden, New York City. 6 men stand outside a structure nobody has ever seen before. 10 tons of steel, 2 miles of chain, a creation designed to combine the Royal Rumble's countdown timer with Hell in a Cell's brutality. Shawn Michaels enters last, and something is immediately wrong. His entrance gear is immaculate, the pyro, the pose, the showmanship, but when the camera zooms in, his wrestling tights are brown, not silver, not white, brown. His gearmaker didn't finish the real ones in time. In his second match back after 4 years of retirement, the Heartbreak Kid is wrestling in backup tights because chaos followed him all the way to Madison Square Garden. The match begins. Triple H and Rob Van Dam, then Chris Jericho, then Booker T. Violence escalates. Bodies slam into chain link walls. Blood flows from open foreheads. Then RVD sees it, an empty pod, 20 feet up. He climbs to the top and stands there, setting up the 5-star frog splash. But the ceiling is too low. He can't fully extend his body like he normally would. He jumps anyway. RVD's knee crashes into Triple H's throat instead of his chest. The sound echoes. Triple H grabs his neck, kicks his feet into the canvas in agony. Referee Earl Hebner throws up the X, the universal signal that someone is really hurt. Triple H's larynx is crushed. His trachea is swelling. Blood vessels burst behind his eyes from the pressure of trying to breathe. In any sane world, the match stops here. But Triple H is the World Heavyweight Champion. He's the heel. The story can't end on an injury. So he keeps going, for 20 more minutes. Struggling to breathe with every exchange, you can see it in his eyes, the panic mixed with determination. After the match, he spends the night in a hospital. The match ends when Kane gets eliminated by all 3 remaining wrestlers, Jericho, Triple H, and Michaels hitting their finishers simultaneously. 3 moves to put down 1 monster. Then Jericho falls. Finally, Shawn Michaels pins Triple H to become World Heavyweight Champion. The confetti falls, the crowd erupts. Shawn embraces the title in the center of the chamber. Second match back, World Champion. Fairy tale complete. But when people talk about the first Elimination Chamber, they don't talk about Shawn's brown tights or his storybook ending. They talk about Triple H's crushed throat. about a man wrestling 20 minutes with a damaged trachea because the machine demanded it. About how even the people who built this business aren't safe from what it does to bodies. The Chamber's first night promised everything. It delivered. February 15th, 2009, Key Arena, Seattle, Washington. Edge walks into No Way Out as WWE Champion, the main event. The Rated R superstar defending against 5 challengers, including Jeff Hardy, Triple H, and The Undertaker. 3 minutes later, he's not champion anymore. Jeff Hardy catches him with a roll-up pin before Edge even breaks a sweat. The shortest championship reign in Elimination Chamber history. Edge, the ultimate opportunist, caught completely off guard by the unpredictability he usually weaponizes. Most wrestlers would go home, regroup, try again next month. Edge watches the second chamber match begin from backstage. John Cena defending the World Heavyweight Championship against 5 challengers. Rey Mysterio, Chris Jericho, Kane, Mike Knox, and Kofi Kingston. Kofi's music hits. The Jamaican superstar steps through the curtain, walking toward his first ever world title opportunity. This is his moment, his breakthrough. Edge sees something else. Not a match, not an opportunity for Kofi. An opening for himself, a loophole in the system that shouldn't exist. Kofi's unconscious on the floor. Edge drags himself into the structure, locks himself in an empty pod. Commentators are screaming. Officials are confused. Nobody knows if this is legal. Nobody knows if Edge is actually in this match. The bell rings anyway. 40 minutes of chaos. Edge waits, bides his time. When he finally enters, he's fresh, while everyone else is exhausted. He eliminates John Cena, the World Heavyweight Champion, with help from Jericho and Mysterio. Then Rey Mysterio himself in the final sequence. When the referee's hand hits 3, Edge has done the impossible. Same night, lost the WWE Championship in 3 minutes, won the World Heavyweight Championship in the main event. The only wrestler in history to lose one World Championship and win another in a single evening. 10 years later, Kofi Kingston would get his WrestleMania moment. But in 2009, his dream died on a ramp in Seattle, while Edge turned failure into legend. Edge didn't ask permission, didn't wait for approval. He saw Kofi Kingston walking toward his destiny and decided that destiny belonged to someone else. The ultimate opportunist living up to his name, not through wrestling ability, but through understanding something fundamental. The rules only matter if someone enforces them. And in the 30 seconds between Kofi's music hitting and the chamber door closing, nobody was enforcing anything. This is what separates Edge from everyone else in that era. The chamber doesn't care about your story. It only cares about who's willing to rewrite it. February 21st, 2010, Scott Trade Center, St. Louis, Missouri. The lights go out. The gong hits. The Undertaker begins his slow, methodical march toward the Elimination Chamber. His entrance is ritual. Pyrotechnics fire from the stage as he walks, pillars of flame marking each step. Tonight, something goes wrong. The pyro fires! Wrong timing, wrong sequence! Flames engulf the Undertaker's upper body. Once, twice, 3 times! His jacket catches fire for 3 separate bursts. The dead man is burning alive on the entrance ramp. He breaks character, strips off the burning coat, rushes down the ramp instead of his signature slow walk. 1st and 2nd degree burns across his chest and neck. The skin blistered raw. The pyrotechnician will be fired immediately.
And then I get out of there, and I'd already told him, I said, look, that dude's backstage when I get back. I said, I'm gonna kill him. Backstage looked like a ghost town. There was nobody anywhere. Like, man, if there's any chance this dude's here, he's dead. Because I was pissed.
A ringside doctor examines him, checks the burns, asks if he can continue. The Undertaker says yes. The doctor reluctantly clears him. The match begins. CM Punk and R-Truth start, then Rey Mysterio, then John Morrison. The Undertaker enters his pod number 4 to be released. And for the next 20 minutes, while 5 men tear each other apart in the chamber, the Undertaker sits inside that plexiglass cube, pouring water bottles over the burns, over and over, trying to cool the seared skin. 20 minutes, watching, waiting, in agony. When his pod finally opens, he enters the match like nothing happened. works the full bout, takes bumps, delivers signature moves, the burns screaming with every impact. Later, Chris Jericho would confirm, The Undertaker sat in that pod for 20 minutes in agony, then worked a complete chamber match with burns covering his upper body. Not because he had to, the doctor offered him a way out. But stopping wasn't in his vocabulary. The streak, the mystique, the character, they demanded he be something more than human, even when his skin was literally on fire. Shawn Michaels cost him the match, breaking into the chamber to attack him, setting up their WrestleMania rematch. The Undertaker lost the World Heavyweight Championship to Chris Jericho that night, but nobody remembers the finish. They remember the burns. They remember 20 minutes in a pod. They remember The Undertaker being The Undertaker, even when his body was screaming to stop. The chamber asks, how much are you willing to sacrifice? The Undertaker's answer burned itself into the record books. Before we hit 2012, I want to take a quick second. I recently opened up channel memberships. I'm not here to hard sell you. This is purely for anyone who wants to support what I do here and see a little more of my work. If you do join, you'll get 2 exclusive videos every month. The first one is actually up right now, covering the complete journey of AJ Styles. But honestly, if a membership isn't for you, no pressure at all. You can support me just as much by dropping a like on this video and making sure you're subscribed. I appreciate you just being here. February 19th, 2012, Bradley Center, Milwaukee. The World Heavyweight Championship is on the line. Enter Daniel Bryan. Not the beloved underdog hero, this is a delusional, self-congratulatory heel who uses the word yes, not as a celebration, but as a weapon. He screams it in your face to mock you. He wins by dubious means and acts like he conquered the world. He enters the Elimination Chamber expected to be the villain. By the time the cage door opens for the final sequence, it's down to 2. The annoying champion and Santino Marella. The comedy act. The guy with the sock puppet. Logic says Bryan destroys him. Logic says this is a joke. But the chamber suspends logic. Santino hits the Cobra. The crowd in Milwaukee erupts. For a split second, the comedy act has the world champion beat. Bryan kicks out at the last possible millisecond. The near fall is electric. But what happens next changes everything. Bryan doesn't panic. He turns vicious. He mercilessly locks in the label lock. He forces the beloved underdog to tap out. He leaves as champion. But the yes chant leaves with him. Something shifted in that ring. The fans saw the intensity. They saw the technical mastery. They stopped chanting yes to mock him and started chanting it to join him. Ride that momentum 6 weeks forward. WrestleMania 28. Daniel Bryan versus Sheamus. The bell rings. Bryan turns for a good luck kiss. Sheamus hits the bro kick. 1, 2, 3. 18 seconds. It was supposed to be a burial, a humiliation to reset the character. Instead, it was gasoline on a fire. The fan base, primed by that excellent chamber performance and enraged by the quick loss at Mania, revolted. They hijacked shows. They screamed yes until their lungs gave out. That rebellion became the Yes Movement, a 2-year war against the authority that culminated in the main event of WrestleMania 30. But the spark wasn't struck in New Orleans. It was struck here, in the chamber, when the arrogant vegan became the wrestler we couldn't help but respect. February 12th, 2017, Talking Stick Resort Arena, Phoenix, Arizona. Bray Wyatt has been in WWE for 5 years. The Swamp Cult leader, the eater of worlds, the man with the lantern and the rocking chair and the promos that make your skin crawl. He's beaten everyone. He's lost to everyone. But mostly, he's lost. The pattern is so consistent it's become a running joke. Bray Wyatt talks a big game, builds incredible mystique, then loses when it matters. All gimmick, no titles. Tonight, he's in the chamber for the WWE Championship. New structure, square instead of circular, padding on the floor instead of steel grating. Safer, different. John Cena starts, then AJ Styles, Dean Ambrose enters, Bray Wyatt, Baron Corbin, The Miz. The Miz eliminates Ambrose. Cena eliminates The Miz. Then, 3. Cena, Styles, Wyatt. Bray Wyatt hits Sister Abigail on John Cena, the 16-time world champion. Clean. No interference, no tricks, just the move, the pin. 1, 2, 3. John Cena is eliminated. Bray turns AJ Styles, the phenomenal one, the best wrestler in the world on his best night. Another Sister Abigail, another pin. 1, 2, 3. Back to back, two of the greatest wrestlers of this generation both pinned clean in the same match. When the referee's hand hits 3 on AJ Styles, Phoenix erupts. Fireflies, the cell phone lights that have become Wyatt's signature, fill the arena like stars. Bray Wyatt holds the WWE Championship for the first time in his career. 6 years of spooky promos. 6 years of building a character while people said he was all talk. 6 years of losing the matches that mattered. Validated. In one night. With 2 clean pins. 6 weeks later, Randy Orton defeats him for the title at WrestleMania 33. The reign is short, the story fizzles. Bray Wyatt returns to the pattern of mystique without championships. But in 2023, when Bray Wyatt dies unexpectedly at 36 years old, this moment matters more. February 12th, 2017. The night the wrestling world took him seriously. The night the character became champion. The night he proved, even if only once, that the monsters are real if you believe hard enough. Some careers are measured in title reigns, some in classic matches. Bray Wyatt's is measured in the moments he made you forget you were watching a show and actually fear what he could do. The Chamber gave him that. Once, it was enough. February 17th, 2019, Toyota Center, Houston, Texas. Mustafa Ali is injured. Someone needs to replace him in the WWE Championship Elimination Chamber match. The New Day, Big E, Xavier Woods, and Kofi Kingston get to choose which member fills the spot. Kofi Kingston, 11 years in WWE, mid-card specialist, tag team champion, intercontinental champion, United States champion. The guy who does the cool Royal Rumble spots where he avoids elimination through acrobatics and creativity. The guy who makes everyone else look good. The dependable hand. Never a world champion, never even close, never even in the conversation. At 37 years old, this might be his only shot. Everyone knows it, Kofi knows it, his family knows it, the New Day knows it. This is the kind of opportunity that doesn't come around twice. Not for guys like Kofi Kingston, who've spent a decade being excellent without being chosen. 3 days earlier on SmackDown, Kofi wrestled in a gauntlet match, faced 5 opponents back-to-back, pinned. Daniel Bryan, the WWE Champion, pinned. Jeff Hardy, a multi-time world champion, pinned. Samoa Joe, one of the most dangerous wrestlers in WWE. Over an hour of wrestling, proving he belonged in conversations he'd never been part of before, finally tapping out to AJ Styles' calf crusher. 1 hour at 37 years old, proving a point nobody asked him to prove. Tonight, the Chamber. Daniel Bryan defending against AJ Styles, Samoa Joe, Jeff Hardy, Randy Orton, and Kofi Kingston. Something shifts in Houston. The crowd isn't just supporting Kofi, they're demanding he wins. Every move gets a standing ovation, every near fall rattles the building. AJ Styles eliminates Samoa Joe. Daniel Bryan eliminates Jeff Hardy. Randy Orton eliminates AJ Styles with an RKO out of nowhere. Then, Kofi hits Trouble in Paradise, eliminates Randy Orton, the 13-time world champion. Gone. It's down to 2. Kofi Kingston and Daniel Bryan, the last-minute replacement versus the WWE Champion. They battle on top of a pod 20 feet above the ring, exchanging strikes, slamming each other's heads into plexiglass, the crowd chanting pod. Kofi escapes the label lock with a rope break, kicks out of a running knee. The impossible is happening. 16,000 people believe. Kofi climbs to the highest point of the chamber. Bryan is down in the ring. Kofi measures the distance, jumps. Everything on the line. One moment to change his life. Bryan moves. Kofi crashes into empty canvas. Bryan scrambles, hits the running knee, covers. 1, 2, 3. Daniel Bryan retains the WWE Championship. Silence. Not boos, not disappointment. Grief. Then, the chants start. the entire Toyota Center on its feet, chanting thank you to a man who just lost. Big E and Xavier Woods rush into the chamber, help their brother to his feet. The New Day embrace, while 16,000 people refuse to let the moment die. Vince McMahon watches from backstage. The chants don't stop, don't fade. This wasn't supposed to happen. Kofi was a replacement, a fill-in. This wasn't his story. But the crowd made it his story anyway. 63 days later, WrestleMania 35, MetLife Stadium. Kofi Kingston faces Daniel Bryan for the WWE Championship. Big E and Xavier Woods at ringside, 82,000 people watching. Kofi hits Trouble in Paradise, pins Bryan, becomes WWE Champion. The first African-born WWE Champion in history. Big E and Xavier Woods are crying. Kofi's crying. The entire stadium is losing their minds. Not because WWE gave Kofi the moment, because a crowd in Houston demanded it. Because Kofi Kingston jumped off the top of the chamber and missed. And somehow, that miss mattered more than a scripted victory ever could. The chamber doesn't promise happy endings, it promises truth. And the truth is this. Sometimes failure is the story. Sometimes jumping and missing is exactly what you needed to do. Houston saw what WWE couldn't plan, and WrestleMania delivered what Houston demanded. 6. Moments. 6 times the Elimination Chamber revealed something that couldn't be scripted. None of these stories went according to plan. That's the point. You see, the Chamber doesn't create legends through booking sheets and production meetings. It reveals who was always there, waiting for the moment that proved it. The structure forces you to make choices you can't take back. Jump from the pod or stay safe. Keep wrestling with a crushed throat or quit. Steal the spot or walk away. Some walked out champions. Some walked out broken. All of them walked out different. Somewhere right now, someone is preparing to enter it for the first time. They're watching footage, studying the structure, telling themselves they know what to expect. They're wrong. Nobody knows what the chamber will take until they're inside it. By then, it's too late to change your mind. The pods lock. The match begins. And the only way out is through. Because every once in a while, someone enters that structure and shows us who they were when the steel doors closed and the escape routes disappeared. The chamber doesn't ask if you're ready. It asks if you're willing. And then, it keeps score. The chamber proves that survival often means becoming the villain. And in wrestling, without the villain's shadow, a hero is nothing. To see how the greatest heels shaped history, leading all the way to John Cena's unthinkable betrayal, click the video on your screen right now.